The Executive Insight podcast series is produced by the Institute for Supplier Collaboration. The goal is to help manufacturers transform their supplier relations to improve business results.
Most OEMs have an island of excellence that they can showcase where they've actually collaborated with a key supplier and have generated some really great results. Either they've done it through a more competitive product design or eliminating waste in the supply chain or even some business joint venture. But very, very few enjoy the benefits of supplier collaboration on a broad and routine basis. Most OEMs really have a good basic supplier model as far as supplier management model where they do strategic sourcing and they take their corporate goals and communicate them with the supply base, and they try to manage their suppliers and give them metrics to follow and things like that. They just kind of really miss the boat sometimes by treating almost all their suppliers in the same way, and they don't isolate their key critical suppliers and have a structured supplier collaboration and innovation process to follow with those most important suppliers to really glean the most value out of that relationship. Well, the 5 C's model is a lot less hoping and a lot more structure, and it allows you to select the proper suppliers, to make sure that you segment them in such a way so that you spend the time with only the most important ones, and then you have a program and a process to really drive the innovation and the value out of the relationship with those most important suppliers. The first C is open communication. And here we're talking about the development of a clear corporate strategy and a plan to communicate this strategy to the supply base. Most companies do this, and it's usually done through a supplier summit. Now, the problem with summits is that too many of them are just downloads to the people in the audience. Now, we've helped OEMs with these summits, and there's a lot of ways to maximize the value and increase the buy-in from the supply base when you do one. The second C is managed competition, which comprises of 3 steps. First is strategic sourcing. The second is a supplier consolidation to reduce the supply base, and so you can increase your leverage with the remaining suppliers. And the third is supplier segmentation. Now, this last step is critical to understand which suppliers you're going to invest your time in with collaboration, and then the many others that you're just going to be keeping at an arm's length relationship. The third C is continuous improvement, which most OEMs employ. And the processes most often deployed in this step are supplier performance management. The supplier performance management process is absolutely vital to aligning your most important suppliers to your company goals. Most OEMs just stop at only working the quality, delivery, and cost aspect. And there are many more lucrative areas to work with your most important suppliers on. The next step, the certification program, at most OEMs are just limited to quality. And yet really the best programs go beyond quality to develop a supply base which excels in many aspects of the business. And then the ongoing development, things like lean or SPC, statistical process control. Now the fourth and fifth C's go hand in hand. Now these last 2 steps are the most powerful by far, but also the most difficult to move to. And they are the collaborative processes and the value-based compensation. So to take it to a collaborative level, an interdependent relationship needs to form between the OEM and his key suppliers. Here, each company is really looking out for the well-being of the other. Suppliers are undertaking discretionary efforts and investments to help the OEM succeed. There's an open exchange of ideas and challenges and approaches to mutually benefit the 2 companies. Now, suppliers are compensated on the incremental value they bring to the relationship via the innovation they bring, the waste reduction, etc. I mean, it's really where the real money is made and where OEMs can separate themselves from the pack. We've actually seen structural cost improvements 10 times greater when we go to a collaborative approach. And it's actually significantly improved the company's competitive position. We call our process BTI, the Business Transformation Initiative. And to use a football analogy, it's like taking your offense and moving from an offense that's built only on a ground game approach where you're controlling very limited incremental progress to introducing the forward pass. I mean, it's a real game changer. in some cases, they're having some success doing what they're doing right now, and they really don't know what they're missing, or they've made some major changes and they think now they're world class, although they're really, only maybe on step 3. And sometimes they think they have to do this collaboration with all their suppliers when they hear about collaboration, and they don't. It's only their key suppliers. And of course, you're going to have some managers that think that collaboration is coddling suppliers, and we've got to be tough. Collaboration is not coddling. It's a very, very disciplined and tough love approach, but it's a respectful approach with the supply base. Most OEMs don't know what they're missing, and yet what they're missing is about 75% of the benefits of the supplier relationship.